This is a commentary video on Emerald Tablet number 5, The Dweller of Unal. Oft dream I of buried Atlantis, lost in the ages that have passed into night. Eon on eon thou existed in beauty, a light shining through the darkness of night. Mighty in power, ruling the earthborn, Lord of the earth in Atlantis' day, King of the nations, master of wisdom, light through Suntal, keeper of the way, dwelt in his temple, the master of Unal, light of the earth in Atlantis' day. A lot to unpack in those two paragraphs. A lot. Basically what he's saying is the dweller is not of earth. He came as Atlantis was just beginning to be a powerful city, or well, powerful civilization, I should call it, right? So they decided amongst themselves that, this dude had superior wisdom and he should be their leader. Though it was probably a show of technology, just like Thoth did to the people of Kem. Because this dude had a spaceship, which we've already talked about once. We'll talk about that more later. I'm assuming Suntal has something to do with the temple, but the dweller never left the temple, from my understanding. His three servants did. So that's another interesting thing that they just, oh, hi, nice to meet you. You're our new ruler. We're never going to see you, but you're our new ruler. So it's very interesting how that worked out. And it says he's ruling the earthborn. That's another thing I was wondering is, did the people of Atlantis also come from the stars? Or if they were actually born on Earth? Because the original Lemurians came from the stars. So I was kind of wondering on Atlantis on that one. Master he from a cycle beyond us, living in bodies as one among men, not as the earthborn, he from beyond us, son of a cycle, advanced beyond men. Know ye, O man, that Horlet the master was never one with the children of men. That name would get a whole lot of chuckles in a high school classroom. Far in the past time when Atlantis first grew, they are at it again. Where was I? Okay, appeared there one with the key of wisdom, showing the way of light to all. Showed he to all men the path of attainment, way of the light that flows among men, mastering darkness, leading the man-soul upwards to heights that were one with the light, which is probably why Atlantis was such a huge power and why it had so much technology. Because it grew pretty freaking fast and pretty high. But it may have done what we did of be slow to get there, and then the technology just kept speeding and speeding and speeding up. And this is the thing that I'm actually interested here, that He divided the kingdoms he into sections. 10 were they, ruled by children of men. Upon another built he a temple, built not by the children of men. So technically there were 11 sections to Atlantis. That's not a number that's normally used. It's usually 10s or 12s or 13s. So why 11? So basically there were sub-kings of the 10 other kingdoms. And then he was the king of the 10 kings. Are you quite finished, young man? I wanted it there for a reason. Thank you. Out of the ether called he its substance, molded and formed by the power of Ytolan, Ytolan. Into the forms he built with his own mind. Mile upon mile it covered the island. Space upon space it grew in its might, black yet not black, but dark like the space-time. Deep in its heart the essence of light. Swiftly the temple grew into being, molded and shaped by the word of the dweller, called from the formless into a form. And like I said in a previous video, word is basically what we would consider a spell. That's why spell and spell are spelled the same way. You're spelling. God said, "Let there be light," and there was, because he cast a spell. Builded he then within it great chambers, filled them with forms called forth from the ether, filled them with wisdom called forth by his mind. How do you fill something with wisdom? An inanimate object. Again, more questions. Formless was he within his temple. So basically he didn't wear his body when he was in his temple. Yet was he formed in the image of men, dwelling among them, yet not of them. Strange and far, different was he from the children of men. And that just goes back to what I was told, that the higher dimension people have bodies, but they don't like wearing them because they're too dense. They're heavy. They don't want to be in them. So clearly he was a higher dimensional being. How high? Greater than fifth. Probably greater than seventh. Chose he then from among the people 3 who became his gateway. Chose he the 3 from the highest to be his links with Atlantis. Messengers they who carried his counsel to the kings of the children of men. And that's actually because even being in the presence of embodied people weighs you down. Because as 3-dimensional people, we can't see the higher dimensional beings unless they're in a body. So if they don't want to be in a body, they have to figure out another way of making it work. we make it work now through meditation because we're raising our vibration in meditation, and we're able to connect as we go up, and they do their best to come down, and we kind of meet in the middle. So it just makes sense that he's going to have messengers that are actually able to reach a place where they can come together and talk, especially considering Atlantis was falling. Well, not at this particular point, I'm sure. Brought he forth others and taught them wisdom, teachers they to the children of men. Placed he them on the island of Undal, to stand as teachers of light to men. So the people who were ready to learn were brought to the temple and basically kept there. Each of those who were thus chosen, taught must he be for years 5 and 10. Only thus could he have understanding to bring light to the children of men. Thus there came into being the temple, a dwelling place for the master of men. That's actually not that bad if you think about it. 15 years to be master enough to be able to teach others. There are a lot of, mystery schools and such that some are 5, some are 10, some are 20, some are 30. Ah! Not a toy. Thank you. So really 15 years is not that much time. Well, I guess it is if that's all they're doing. They're fully devoted to learning their stuffs. I, Toth, have ever sought wisdom, searching in darkness and searching in light. Long in my youth I traveled the pathway, seeking ever new knowledge to gain, until, after much striving, one of the 3 to me brought the light. Brought he to me the commands of the dweller, called me from darkness into the light. Brought he me before the dweller, deep in the temple, before the great fire. I'm always curious when they start putting words in capital letters. And the problem with it when they do that is it's still the same size as the lowercase letters. So then you're straining. Did I actually read that right? Oh boy. So here he capitalizes fire and light several times. For me, having met some of the higher dimensional beings through meditation, the fire that he stood before was the dweller, right? At that time, he didn't know what he was looking at. And that's the way he described it, because that's what he was looking at. And yes, by the time that he learned, wrote these tablets and things, he knew what he was looking at. But at the same time, he needed to code these in a way that we would understand. And this is why no matter where you are in your spiritual journey, you're still going to gain something from these books. Or from these tablets, I should say. There on the great throne beheld I the dweller. See? The dweller was the fire. Clothed with light and flashing with fire. Down I knelt before that great wisdom, feeling the light flowing through me in waves. Heard I then the voice of the dweller. Had another thought before I get on to what the dweller said here. I heard once that when Steven Spielberg, and I'm forgetting the name of the movie that he did, but he did a movie where at the end they met a whole bunch of aliens. I was told a story where before he did that movie, they actually had him meet higher dimensional beings. And they warned him that when you get near these people, you're going to pass out because of the different levels of energies that they put off. So that's another thing that he's talking about in terms of light here, right? And the great wisdom, he's just feeling this dude's energy. He's going, oh my God, I can learn so much from him, right? O darkness, come into the light. Long have ye sought the pathway to light. Each soul on earth that loosens the fetters shall soon be made free from the bondage of night. Forth from the darkness ye have risen, closer approached the light of your goal. Here ye shall dwell as one of my children, keeper of records gathered by wisdom. Instrument thou in the light from beyond. Ready be thou made to do what is needed, preserver of wisdom through the ages of darkness, that shall come fast on the children of men. Live thee here and drink of all wisdom, secrets and mysteries unto thee shall unveil. So what I find interesting here is this is where he gets his job, right? The job he chose to carry on with when he was down in the halls of Amenti. That's the job he got right here when he got taken into the temple through the dweller. And he just chose to continue to do that when he became free of the halls of Amenti. Then answered I, the master of cycles, saying, Master of cycles. I'll go to what he said in a second. How many cycles has he seen? I'm curious now what race he is. Because some of the races only live a couple hundred years, some live a couple thousand years, right? But I'm thinking a cycle is a pretty long time. So, yeah. More questions. O light that descended to men, give thou to me of thy wisdom, that I might be a teacher of men. Give thou of my light, that I may be free. Of thy light, sorry. Spoke then to me again the master. And saying it that way, he's talking about being free, but this dude's the master. Age after age shall ye live through your wisdom. Aye, when o'er Atlantis the ocean waves roll, holding the light through though hidden in darkness, ready to come whenever thou shalt call. Go thee now and learn greater wisdom. Grow thou through light to infinity's all. And it does sound strange that they call it infinity is all, because infinity is all. But, yeah. Long then dwelt I in the temple of the dweller, until at last I was one with the light. Are you people done? Holy cow. Sorry, cat drama. The battery on the camera was almost dead when was dead when I picked it up. So let's just put that cord up there. Try to prevent further drama. Okay. Where was I? Okay. Followed I then the path to the star plains. Followed I then to the pathway of light. Deep into earth's heart I followed the pathway, learning the secrets below as above, which is something we still use today, as above, so below. Learning the pathway to the halls of Amenti, learning the law that balances the world. To earth's hidden chambers pierced I by my wisdom, deep through the earth's crust into the pathway, hidden for ages from the children of men. Unveiled before me, ever more wisdom, until I reached a new knowledge, found that all is part of an all, great and yet greater than all that we know. Searched I infinity's heart through the ages, deeper and yet deeper, more mysteries I found. So it looks like when he's saying all, he's talking about what we refer to as oneness today. Gotta love how our dictionary keeps changing. Why do we need to keep making up new words anyway? That doesn't even make any sense. Let's make it so the different generations can't talk to each other, because we've got to change our words up and make them fresh and new. Now as I look back through the ages, know I that wisdom is boundless, ever grown greater throughout the ages, one with infinities greater than all. It took him thousands and thousands and thousands of years to learn that you never stop learning. Light there was in ancient Atlantis, yet darkness too was hidden in all. Fell from the light into the darkness some who had risen to heights among men. Proud they became because of their knowledge. Proud they were of their place among men. Deep delved they into the forbidden, opened the gateway that led to below. Sought they to gain ever more knowledge, but seeking to bring it up from below. In this case, he's talking about how they were unbalanced in their search for more knowledge, more truth, more probably technology as well, even though Atlantis was pretty freaking advanced. But you have to go above and below. My understanding is, yes, we're supposed to be searching for light above, but you can only get as high as you've gone deep. So if you only go an inch deep, you ain't going to get very high. You got to understand the darkness to be able to understand the light, because you got to have a balance between them both. Yes, that's a lot of soul searching. He who descends below must have balance. Oh, there you go. Else he is bound by lack of our light. Opened they then by their knowledge pathways forbidden to men. But in his temple, all-seeing, the dweller lay in his Agwanti, while through Atlantis his soul roamed free. Saw he the Atlanteans, by their magic, opening the gateway that would bring to earth a great woe. I have ideas on that gateway. I don't know if I'm right or not, but I have ideas on that gateway. Saw he the Atlanteans by their magic, oh, I already read that part, that would bring to earth a great woe. Fast fled his soul then back to his body. Up he arose from his aguante. Interesting how it was capitalized up here, but not down there. Called he the three mighty messengers, gave the commands that shattered the world. Deep neath earth's crust, to the halls of Amenti, swiftly descended the dweller. Called he then on the powers the seven lords wielded, changed the earth's balance. Down sank Atlantis beneath the dark waves. So changing the earth's balance would be massive movement of the tectonic plates. Because when he sunk Atlantis, he also sunk Lemuria. And he brought up more land for the other continents. The cats are just massively active tonight. And no, I don't give them catnip. No. They're all 2 years old. No, we don't do that. Shattered the gateway that had been opened. Shattered the doorway that led down below. All of the islands were shattered except Unal, and part of the island of the sons of the dweller. Preserved he them to be the teachers. I just realized that sons as an S-O-N. So does that mean that he procreated with human wives? Or that he brought his sons with him when he came? Another question. Lights on the path for those to come after. Lights for the lesser children of men. Called he then I, Toth, before him, gave me commands that I should do, or for all I should do, saying, Take thou, O Toth, all of your wisdom, take all of your records, take all your magic. Go forth as a teacher of men. Go thou forth, preserving the records, until in time light grows among men. Light shall thou be all through the ages, hidden yet found in enlightened or by enlightened men. Over all earth give we ye power. Free thou to give or to take it away. Gather now thou now the sons of Atlantis. Take them and flee to the people of the rock caves. Fly to the land of the children of Chem. So I just realized that Toth's job was to teach men how to find light during the darkest days. So if Toth was the thrice lived, then that would be 3 cycles. Because he is living in the darkest of days. I got one answer. Then gathered I the sons of Atlantis into the spaceship. I brought all my records. Brought the records of the sunken Atlantis. Gathered I all my powers, instruments many of mighty magic. Up then we rose on wings of the morning. High we rose above the temple, leaving behind the three and dweller. Deep in the halls, neath the temple, down neath the waves sank the great temple, closing the pathway to the lords of the cycles. Yet ever to him who has knowing shall open be the path to Amenti. Sorry, as I was reading that, I had another question forming and I answered it for myself. Because it was talking about how the temple sank beneath the waves intact. It wasn't destroyed, right? And you would think after all this time they would have found the temple with all the submarines and high technology and satellites and all the stuff we got, that they would find it and know where Atlantis is. One, if they would have found Atlantis, they wouldn't be telling us they found it, right? But the other, they probably don't even know what to look for. Considering they're calling everything a temple. And I don't think they would know what to look for in this case. So they may have found the remnants of Atlantis and had no clue what it was. Fast fled we then on the wings of the morning, fled to the land of the children of Chem. There by my power I conquered and ruled them. Raised I to light the children of Chem. Deep neath the rocks I buried my spaceship, waiting the time when man might be free. Over the spaceship erected a marker in the form of a lion, yet like unto man. The Sphinx. There, neath the image, rests yet my spaceship, forth to be brought when the need shall arise. And he talks more about that later on too. Know ye, O man, that far in the future invaders shall come from out of the deep. Then awake, ye who have wisdom. Bring forth my ship and conquer with ease. Deep neath the image lies my secret. Search and find in the pyramid I built. Each to the other is the keystone. Which is a very interesting thing because they keep talking about keystone in relations to the pyramids and things. But they're talking about the keystones for the pyramids themselves. In this case, it's switched. Follow the key I leave behind. Seek, and the doorway of life shall be thine. Seek thou in my pyramid, deep in the passage that ends in a wall. Which I think I remember hearing about that in school when we were learning about Egypt. Use thou the key of the seven, and open to thee the pathway will fall. Another reference to sacred geometry again. Now unto thee I have given my wisdom. Now unto thee I have given my way. Follow the pathway, solve thou my secrets. Unto thee I have shown the way. Basically, keep learning, never quit learning, and eventually you'll figure out what that means in terms that will make sense for finding him. I wondered how many people have actually succeeded in that. I'm thinking at this point probably not very many, but ever striving, right? We are on the rise again. Yeah. But this makes sense though why they talk about how Hermes was the thrice born. I think that's what his name was. I think he was Hermes. and Toth. But who was the dude in the second cycle? We never hear about that guy. It's like we just kind of skip over that in our history. Very interesting. Very interesting trying to digest this information and see how it correlates to what we already know. And I hope in a couple of years from now, I'll pick this up and go, oh, it means this, not that, right? Ever seeking more wisdom, ever more growth. If you like this content, like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.